Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Hope you are good. We are back today with another smartwatch review. This time it's the Realme Watch S. This is the second generation of this smartwatch lineup. I did an unboxing before Christmas and I've been using it since then, so now I'm ready to give you a full review. This is a pretty cheap smartwatch. It was only £75, so I'm assuming it's around about $85, something like that, something similar in euros, so definitely under 100 no matter where you are. And it has some pretty impressive specs and some pretty impressive features for that price, but is it worth it? Is it really going to be any useful? But is it really worth it? Is it going to be accurate? Is it going to actually be useful? I mean, there are some downsides to this, and it is and while it is cheap, you do get what you pay for. So let's go into the full review now of the Realme Watch S. So as usual, let's go into the specs first so we can see what kind of hardware we're dealing with. The Realme Watch S features a 1.3-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 360 by 360 pixels. Pixel density is 278 ppi. And the pix and the screen to body ratio is 49.1%. For sensors, it features a heart rate monitor, an SpO2 tracker, and an accelerometer. It does not feature internal GPS, nor does it feature anything like a barometer or a gyroscope or anything like that. It is just those three sensors, but that does allow you to track things like your heart rate, your steps, your activity levels, and there's actually quite a lot you can do with that, but it is limited compared to other smartwatches. The watch is IP68 water resistant up to 1.5 meters, so probably wouldn't go swimming with it, probably wouldn't take it underwater, but in the shower or washing your hands or just washing it in general in water should be fine. The dimensions of the watch is 47mm by 47mm by 12mm thickness, and it weighs 48 grams. The lithium-ion battery is 390 mAh, and I've found it lasts around about 10 to 15 days on a single charge. So this is definitely one of the more basic smartwatches I've ever used, but again, for the price, that is quite a fairly impressive lineup considering the size of the watch, the fact that it does have this large round display. Usually smartwatches that are between like $80 and $100 are usually these little smart bands that barely have any display at all, so the fact that it is a large display is pretty good to start off with, especially if you are looking for your first cheap smartwatch. However, on the day-to-day basis, it is pretty basic. Let's start off by looking at the design and the display. Unlike most of the smartwatches that I usually have, this is an IPS LCD display. LCD displays, in my opinion, are inferior to AMOLED displays, which we see with watches like the Amazfit GTR, or the AMOLED display is a lot darker. The blacks in the AMOLED display are actually fully dark, whereas in an LCD display, they're kind of bluish gray, just because it has a constant backlight. The colors also aren't as vibrant, the screen isn't as responsive. It's just a fairly basic setup. It kind of feels like a screen from 5 years ago. So yeah, the screen and the display is not particularly amazing, but to be honest, it will get you through what you need to do. It still displays the information clearly. The icons are bright and colorful enough. They're easy enough to interact with. So while it's not advanced at all, it does feel a bit dated. It is still usable. The design of the watch is also pretty basic as well. I mean, it's a plastic body. It feels like it is quite cheap. These large buttons, I'm not a huge fan of. It's quite thick for a smartwatch. It was 12mm thick, and that is on the thicker side. So for me, with kind of thin wrists, I prefer a thinner smartwatch, but for some people that won't be a problem at all. It is kind of trying to do a classic display here, or classic design, you know, with the circular display and the second things on the outside, and it looks okay for the price. I think it's fine. I wouldn't want to spend much more on a design like this, but for £70, for $80, sure, it's fine, but it's not going to blow anyone away in terms of how good it looks. It is fairly average. When it comes to the heart rate monitoring and the health and fitness tracking, again, for the price, pretty good, but nothing to shout home about. It features about 15 different sports modes built into the watch, which will automatically activate when you select them when you start working out. So it uses that accelerometer and heart rate monitor to track that. I found the heart rate monitor to be pretty accurate, probably about 80% of the time when you're doing your workouts or you're just resting at home. It is 24 hours a day, so you do get the continuous monitoring. It's not the most accurate, but but to be fair, it matches up to smartwatches which are twice the price of this, so I'm okay with that. The SpO2 tracker, again, is something quite advanced that we really didn't see in any smartwatches, I mean, just a few months ago, but again, it's kind of limited in its capabilities. You have to do it manually. It's just not really worth worrying about, but that's the same in every smartwatch. So as a basic health and fitness tracker, this is okay. It does its job. There is no internal GPS, but you can connect it to your phone if you wanted to track your location and your routes that you run and cycle, but again, you need to be taking your phone with you everywhere you go if you wanted to do that. It doesn't have a microphone, doesn't have a speaker, it doesn't have any other sensors, so you are pretty much limited to that. It is limited to what it can do. It does have some other kind of smartwatch features in terms of sleep tracking. You can set an alarm, it has a calendar, stopwatch, that kind of stuff. I think it even has a music player, so if you connect to your phone via Bluetooth, you'll be able to control your music. So there are some things on there that are useful, but I just think it is a very basic smartwatch. That's what it comes down to. But for the price, it's very good value. You're not going to get anything amazing out of this. If you're not too bothered about anything flashy, you're not too bothered about anything super advanced, but you want to spend under $100, £100, €100, then it's hard to argue against it. It just is pretty basic. What I will say is that it is very easy to use. So if you were someone who's not too confident with technology or with working things out, this is ready to go. It literally has one menu kind of system and it's very obvious what each icon does. So yeah, this is a great starter smartwatch for anyone who's starting to track their health and fitness and want something very basic, but they also want something that has this larger screen. The one thing I will say that's awesome about the Realme Watch S is the battery life. It lasts so long. I've been wearing it for about 10 days before I've needed to charge it, so I can't really complain about that. That is a very long battery life for any smartwatch that has a large display. I think LCD displays don't use up as much battery as AMOLED, so that may be the reason why. Also, the other downside to this kind of display is that it does not have an always on display. As you can see here, it just turns off when you don't look at it. So automatically there is no always on option. So it will be blank most of the time as you're walking around, but it does automatically activate when you look at it, when you move it to look at your, to look at the time. It will turn on, but then it will just turn off again quite quickly. So bear that in mind. So yeah, guys, I guess that is pretty much it. That is the Realme Watch S. If you want a watch that is cheap but effective as a health and fitness tracker and doesn't look too bad, then this is a pretty good watch to go for. If you want anything in terms of smartwatch experience, then you need to spend a bit more and get something like the Amazfit GTR2 or one of the cheaper Samsung watches, or maybe even an Apple Watch SE, which is 3 times the price of this, but still obviously offers so much more in terms of functionality. Don't expect the most accurate tracking. It's going to be about 70% accurate, but that is enough for someone who's just starting, especially if you just want to track your walking and how many steps you take and your general heart rate. That's going to be more than enough to get an accurate picture of your health, but anything more advanced than that, then this is not the watch to get. So yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the Realme Watch S? This is a budget smart watch, a large round display with plenty of information and plenty to keep you going for about a year or so. It's a great starter smartwatch, like I said. I think this would be a great gift for someone who's maybe a kid, a teenager, their first smartwatch, or someone who's older who wants to start tracking their health and fitness but doesn't want to deal with any kind of complicated apps, technology, that kind of stuff. I think this will be a great starter smartwatch. So let me know what you think of this watch in the comments below. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think for the price it's good value or not? Which other smartwatches are there? Let us know. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you want to subscribe for more smartwatch reviews, I would be very grateful. If you want to buy this smartwatch, then it would be great if you use the link in my description. It helps me keep this channel going and to buy more stuff to review and compare and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's it, guys. Stay tuned for more stuff coming up, but until next time,